Alright guys, so welcome back to another one here. So changing it up a little bit this evening, gonna do something a little different for you guys. So what I've got here is, let me just show you here. So I just got permission to fish this pond. This is a nice little pond here, couple acres in size, whatnot. So anyway, I know the vast majority of people, you know, they don't fish from a boat. The vast majority of people either fish from the bank, fish ponds, different things like that. So I thought I'd make this little video here and kind of share with you guys how I go about breaking down and fishing a new pond or new piece of water, you know, from the shore. Obviously, if I was in the boat, you know, I'd use my electronics, mapping, things of that nature. But, you know, this is a little different situation. So anyway, just got permission to fish this pond. Nice looking little pond. I really don't know anything about it. But I thought I'd just kind of bring you guys along and share with you what I kind of go through. So anyway, this is my setup here. This is kind of what I go into fishing a new pond. So the vast majority of ponds around here, you're fishing for bass, crappie, bluegill, and potentially catfish. And usually I don't mess with the catfish in the ponds. Not really that concerned with that. So this is the setup that I normally go into. So right now it's about late May, early June. The water's warm, fish are shallow, fish are up and active. So I'll just start here from the right and move my way over. So I am by no means a bass guy. I don't claim to be. I'm a crappie and catfish angler. But whenever it comes to ponds fishing, I do like to catch the odd bass. So my first rig here is just your simple wacky rig. This is just a weighted hook, just a swim jig hook, or you know, jig hook here, just to get the cast a little bit further out, and you can hook anything you want on this. This is just a kind of a crawdad colored worm, just hooked wacky rig. About anything in the pond is going to eat something, you know, of that crawdad looking or, you know, kind of worm imitation. Next, I've got this chatterbait here, moving bait, of course. You can see this pond here. I can see weeds, so I want stuff that's going to be elevated off the bottom. I don't want to be really fishing, say, a jig on the bottom. I know I'm going to have trouble with weeds. So that's the bass setup. Moving over here, I've got just a small little crappie jig. Try to catch a crappie, and then I always bring my fly rod. This is the time of year usually the bluegill come up, and it's always fun to catch bluegill on a fly rod. So I've got just a little popper right there. So anyway, that's kind of my setup. That's what I've got. That's normally, that'll catch anything in this pond, give you hours of enjoyment, but that's kind of how I break it down. So anyway, I'm gonna start off here. You can see right down there's the dam, so that's gonna be the deeper water, and I'm gonna start up here on the shallow end, just because I normally, body of water, I always start on the shallow end. You know, normally the fish are out shallow, and that's what we're gonna go for. I think there we got him. There we go, guys. First little bass. This new pond. I got my worm too, a little bitty guy. But hey, didn't take long. It's the first fish. There we go. I can even see my worm down there, so I'll go get that. Ton of bluegill up shallow, so we'll definitely gotta go try to catch them. There we go again, guys. These are what, 12-inch bass, something like that. A little largemouth, little wacky rig setup here. Little big baby. They're not giant. I catch crappie bigger than them, but they're fun. Fun pond bass. I think they're all bluegill. Oh, there we go. There we go, guys. I'm saying that was a bluegill. That's in the old bass. It's right behind him. That's a little better specimen there, huh? There's a lot of people would freak out over a bass that big. So you can tell this pond has got a lot of fish in it and not a lot of forage. All 3 fish I've caught, look at the head compared to the body. There needs to be some fish taken out of this pond. That's what? That's pushing 2 pounds, I guess, huh? Well, largemouth, it's as simple as that, guys. Half a broken worm on a hook. Yep, these fish are hungry. There you go, bud. All right, so I was actually just walking back. I've seen so many bluegill up shallow, and they look good sized bluegill too. So I really want to catch them on the fly rod. I love catching bluegill on the fly rod. So we'll make 1 or 2 more casts here, and I'm gonna go get the fly rod. Oh, you get it? Yeah, there it is again. Haha! This is so much fun, guys. That one's not near as big. Still a decent sized little bluegill there on the popper. I had to go out to bass fishing. That's just too much fun. Probably what, 7-inch bluegill or so? I mean, nothing giant, but you can't beat him on the popper. Look at him. There he is again. I'm telling you guys, this pond needs some fish taken out of it. There's so many fish in here. Here you go, little buddy. Oh, I guess I should show it to you guys. So there you go, another little bluegill there. But it is fun. Look at that, every single cast. This is a better fish here. That's 3 in a row. Now look at that bluegill. So this is a catch and release pond. I need to talk to the owners about taking some fish out because, oh, there he is. Come on, let me show you guys off the camera. See, look at him. He's pissing. They're spawning is why they're so aggressive. So this is a catch and release pond, and obviously there's way too many fish in here. Look at it. There he is again. This is so much fun. On the fly rod, guys. On the fly rod. Every time. Now there's a pretty decent red ear. Oh. So this is a different species of bluegill. I think you guys down south, come on little buddy, call them shell crackers. They get real big. This one here is not that big, but you can see they've got that red on their, what would be their ear. That's why we call them red ear. But they get big and they fight hard. But yeah, just right underneath this little tree. You can tell at some point somebody's tried to manage this pond just because they've got some spawning habitat set out here. And I could see some rocks right here. So this is an ideal spot for the fish because that rock's gonna warm up. So these fish are super aggressive. If you guys could see that, I had one actually just try to bite my knot. Going from my leader to my line, then this fish hit the popper at the same time. Nothing giant, but man, it takes you back to being a kid. It's super fun. But, did we hook that one? Yep. There's a better one. That's getting up decent size there now. A big old male there. That's a pretty good sized bluegill. That's over hand size. It's pretty good for around here. Big male. You can see the bump on his head. Just a good fun time, guys. Killing evening. Catching these bluegill on the fly rod. I'm not even concerned, to be quite honest, with going back to bass fishing now. This is just too much fun. Every cast, guys. Look at, ooh. Now there's a good fish. Look at that fish. See, this is one of the red ears that I was just talking about. See how much bigger they are? I mean, That, you can lip that fish. Whenever you can lip them, that's pushing that's over an 8-inch bluegill. That's a good fish there. It's 9 inches, so he's pushing 9 inches. That's a good fish. Well, they fight hard. All right, guys, let's see what we got there. So this is a bluegill. This is a bluegill. So I probably caught 25 or 30 little crappies or little bluegills there. Well, some of them weren't real little, but probably caught 25 or 30 bluegills. And you know, they're up there spawning, they're shallow. And so I decided, you know, I've caught bass in here, I've caught bluegill. Let's see if there's crappie in this pond. So I went and changed out, grabbed this little, I'll show it to you. This is just a little jig. That's on a 32nd ounce head. Whipping her out. So if the bluegill are real shallow, then I'm saying that the crappie are just a little bit deeper in this pond, or they're towards the dam. What we got there? That's something a little bit different. Oh, let's pull and drag. That is a nice bluegill. Look at that. Ate that jig. It's one of those readier again, guys. So somebody stocked this pond with some good fish. So I keep getting little pecks even at far out casting here like I am in this shallow end. And, you know, a crappie would have no problem taking that bait. So I'm gonna move down towards the deeper end. If there are crappie in here, I'm saying they're gonna be kind of in that transition between this shallow end, this is the shallow end, and down there the deep end, in a more recuperative post-spawn pattern. All right, so I moved down mid-pond, and you guys, I mean, it sounds stupid, but you can break down a pond just the same as you can break down a big lake. You know, most ponds have a dam, a deep end, and a shallow end. What's that? Oh, bluegill. Still out deep. Boy, this pond has a good supply of bluegill. So, and you can fish them the same way as you do. What's that? Is that a crappie? Look at that, guys. There it is. Black crappie, which is normally what you'll get in a pond. You don't want to stock white crappie in a pond. Little bitty guy. But yeah, you don't want to stock white crappie in a pond because they just spawn so prolifically. So black crappie, moved right down what you would mid-pond, mid-lake. These fish are just kind of in their transition. That looks like another one. So look at that, guys. So very simple. I mean, as dumb as it sounds, you can break down this pond. Go back down there, little guy. A little crappie. You know, in basically 3 stages. Wow, that one was aggressive. Even though it's just a pond and it's not a big lake, you can still break it down like you can a big lake. Shallow end, the deep end, and the mid lake. So this is mid pond, and just like I said, there it is. There it is. Let's see what that is. Another crappie. Yep, and there we have it, guys. Pretty simple. Go down there, little guys. No big crappies. Which goes for everything that I've learned about this pond, is that it's way overpopulated. The crappies are probably going to be stunted in this pond. But hey, we broke it down. We caught fish, caught 3 different species our first time out. So that's cool. There's carp in here too. I don't know if you guys can see that down there, but there is some carp working the bank. So somebody at one time did some management to this pond, but for whatever reason just did not maintain it. So I just turned off the GoPro there to reset it, and I hooked up with something more substantial. What do I have here, guys? Oh, stay out of that grass. I want to see you. Big bass, maybe? Huh. So there are bigger bass in here. Got them in the weeds, but that's a nice fish there, huh? That's, I don't know, what? 18-inch, 3.5 pound bass. That's a nice fish. Look at that. All right, so that little jig will catch everything. That's cool. All right, guys, so I'm gonna finish this video up here before it gets too dark for the camera. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed just a quick little evening outing here to a new pond that I've never fished before. And you know, it produced pretty good. We caught a lot of bluegill, a few nice bass, and some crappie. So anyway, hope you guys could take a few tips or techniques that I showed you here in this video. Go out, find you a new pond, you know, ask permission. If you ask kindly, it's no different than anything else. Ask kindly and pick up after yourself. Most people will give you permission. So it's no different than how I got permission for this particular pond. And yeah, ended up being a good evening there. So hope you guys enjoyed. Hit that like button if you enjoyed this kind of video. That lets me know, kind of make more videos in this realm. I'd appreciate it. Leave a comment if you'd like. Till next time, guys. Appreciate it.